Wow, it's been a hot minute since I've done a prediction video. I don't think I've done one since like WrestleMania 35. But today I'm bringing back the prediction videos because, you know, I need more content. And honestly, I just haven't felt invested enough in pay-per-views to really want to make predictions lately. WWE's getting me more invested because I really enjoyed SummerSlam and Payback, so I may do predictions for WWE again. But AEW I've been super invested in. It's been the only company I've been really focusing my Wednesday night every week to watch AEW. And I feel like I actually know enough to really predict the matches. But anyways, I'm not going to waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into our first matchup, which is the tooth and nail matchup between Britt Baker and Big Swole. And I'm not sure exactly what the stipulation means. I guess it's going to take place in like some sort of a dentist setting, maybe Britt Baker's dental office. And I think it's pretty clear who's going to take the win here. It has to be Britt Baker. It's her return matchup, and she is the #1 woman in AEW, the only one that I honestly care about watching. And I think she needs to defeat Shida and win the women's championship to really legitimize the division. So I 100%, without a doubt, see Britt Baker picking up the win here in this matchup. There's just no way around it. It has to happen. Coming up next, we've got a tag team match of the Young Bucks taking on Jurassic Express. Should be a very, very excited tag team matchup. Two amazing teams, but again, I think this one is pretty clear. I'm gonna go with the Young Bucks picking up the win here. I think they're gonna move on from this matchup and challenge next for the World Tag Team Championships, which we will get into later. But Jurassic Express can certainly take the loss here, although I wouldn't mind seeing them take a win as well, because I feel like they lose a lot of their feuds. But 100% the Young Bucks need to take the win here. There's so much going on with the Elite right now, and yeah, I just 100% see the Young Bucks taking the W here. We've got Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in this Broken Rules matchup, and if Matt Hardy leaves, he must leave AEW, and I think that's, again, the obvious part of this. Matt Hardy's gonna win. He's barely been in AEW that long, let alone with live crowds back. The only way I see Sammy taking the win here is if Hardy's leaving for a bit and then coming back with some sort of a character rejuvenation. You know, he's very good at reinventing himself, so I wouldn't be against that. But I'm going to go with the easy pick here of Matt Hardy picking up the win. Sammy already holds a win over Matt Hardy, so I don't think it's going to be a big deal. But Matt Hardy is my official prediction heading into this matchup. We've got an 8-man tag team matchup of the Dark Order taking on Cody's buddies, the Natural Nightmares, QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes, along with Matt Cardona and Scorpio Sky. It should be a pretty entertaining 8-man tag team matchup. I could see the Faces picking up the win here, but yeah, it's going to be the Dark Order. Brody Lee just won the title, so I definitely see him looking strong in this matchup. He'll probably get the pinfall for the Dark Order and look very, very dominant after what he did to Cody. So I'm going to go with the Dark Order for my official prediction. The only way I see the Faces winning is if one of them pin another member of the Dark Order, and that's to set up Brody Lee's first feud as the TNT champion. I could see probably Matt Cardona or Scorpio Sky maybe being that person to pin someone else in the Dark Order and move on to a feud with Brody Lee, but my official prediction is going to be the Dark Order to get the win in the 8-man tag team matchup. We have got the 21-man Casino Battle Royal. I don't believe all the participants have been announced yet, but there is a lot of them. As for this one, I see a couple of possible options. One that I see is a pretty logical one, and that is the Murder Hawk Monster Lance Archer. He's looked so strong. His only loss was to Cody for the TNT Championship, but I could definitely see him winning here and challenging for the World Championship. But I think there's something going on there with him and Brian Cage, so I think the two of them are going to get each other out somehow, and we're going to see Cage versus Archer, which is going to be nuts, you know, with Taz and Jake the Snake at ringside. But my official prediction for this matchup is going to be someone from Eddie Kingston's faction. I think it's either going to be Eddie Kingston himself, or they're going to save that for later and they're going to go with someone like Pentagon Jr. I think Pentagon Jr. is an amazing singles wrestler. You know, we don't see it as much because he's with Rey Fenix all the time, but I think it'd be really cool to see him get a singles feud and have a challenge for the World Championship. Or again, Eddie Kingston using this faction to get to a world title match. I don't think the winner of this matchup is actually going to become world champion, but either way, I think it'd be really cool. And then another option I saw is maybe Wardlow wins this, and then MJF wins the world title, and we see the two of them have a world title feud. But my official prediction for this matchup is going to be Pentagon Jr. We have Chris Jericho taking on Orange Cassidy in this mimosa match with the orange juice and a little bit of the bubbly. This is going to be a little weird. I feel like the feud is starting to drag on a little bit. So it's probably time to end it here, and I think Chris Jericho is 100% going to pick up the win in this. Cassidy has a win over Jericho already, and I just feel like Chris probably needs the win more here, but I feel like the stipulation is like really, really weird. I'm not really feeling it, but my official prediction for this matchup is going to be Chris Jericho. As much as I do love Orange Cassidy, I'd love to see him pick up the win here. For the AEW Women's Championship, we have here Hikaru Shida taking on the NWA Women's World Champion Thunder Rosa. Should be a very incredible matchup. Champion versus versus champion here. And again, I think this one is pretty obvious who's going to take the win. I'm definitely going to go with Shida, but I could see, Thunder Rosa taking it and, doing something different with the NWA having both the titles, but I don't even think they're putting on shows exactly right now. But yeah, definitely Shida. I'm going to go Shida for my prediction. I think she is going to drop the title to Britt Baker in the near future. So I do see her picking up the win, but it should be a very incredible matchup. This one I am really looking forward to. The AEW World Tag Team Championship match. We've got FTR challenging Omega and Page. I absolutely love Omega and Page together. They've been a great tag team for many months now, but that's coming to an end. FTR is 100% taking the titles off of them, and I have a bold prediction. Kenny Omega is going to turn heel. He's going to attack Hangman Page. We all think Page is, being a little heelish and maybe aligning himself with the FTR. I think that's what they want us to think, and that Kenny Omega is at last going to go back to the cleaner gimmick and turn on Page here, kicking off their feud, whereas FTR is going to at last move on to the World Tag Team matchup with the Young Bucks. And finally, the AEW World Championship match. My boy, probably my favorite wrestler in AEW right now, Jon Moxley defending against MJF. This feud's been honestly really entertaining. I've quite enjoyed it. I don't think it's going to be like a technical masterpiece, but I think it's going to be a pretty decent matchup. As for the winner here, I'm kind of torn. I could see MJF taking it, but I don't feel like he's quite there yet. He's really close, but I don't feel like he is. And the other reason is that we just have crowds back. I think they want to keep Mox as the face champion for a little bit longer, and have him in front of the live crowds and whatnot. So I'm going to go with Jon Moxley as my prediction to defeat MJF and move on to feud with either Lance Archer, Pentagon Jr., or Eddie Kingston for the World Championship next. Should be very, very entertaining. MJF is undeniably going to be a world champion someday. I just do not think it's going to come this Saturday. But anyways, those are my official predictions. I tried to go a little bit quicker, not to drag this on too much, because everyone and their mother does these prediction videos, which is why I stopped doing them in the first place, aside from not really fully being invested in some of the product. But regardless, feel free to let me know any of your AEW All Out predictions down below. Sadly, I won't be able to watch it live because I'm working, but I'm definitely going to watch the replay of it. I'm very, very excited. So sadly, I can't do any reaction videos this time. There's no sense because it'd be up way too late. But anyways, leave the like on the video if you did enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Thank you.